This is The Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral.com.
Good morning, Tuscaloosa. Good morning, Tuscaloosa, Internet world, West Alabama. How we doing today on this Thursday, victorious Thursday in the Alabama athletics field, Alabama athletics world? This is the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral, BamaCentral.com, hanging out with you guys on the BamaCentral YouTube channel, BamaCentral Facebook page. We're having a lot of fun on Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast, you can find the program. We're having a lot of fun here. We're not in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios, but still call Derek Daniel for all of your insurance needs. Call him at 205-758-3391. He'll take care of you. He's taking care of all of us right here on the Joe Gaither Show, letting us hang out in his office and do the show right there. And also, more importantly, taking care of saving us some money and being a great insurance agent for when we have been in times of need. So I really appreciate Derek Daniel sponsoring the program. I really appreciate Purple Turtle Roofing, and I thought I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys had a lot of fun with Brax Garrison yesterday of Purple Turtle Roofing. We talked roofing, but we talked quarterback play. So if you wanted to hear about how a quarterback sees the game and sees how Ty Simpson managed the Oklahoma game and managed all the challenges that the Oklahoma defense presented, you can check out yesterday's episode. Every episode is presented by Purple Turtle Roofing. Call Purple Turtle Roofing today at 877-787-6635. We appreciate them sponsoring the program as well. They specialize in residential roofing, commercial roofing, emergency storm repairs, full-on roof replacement, and insurance claim support, and much, much more. So appreciate Purple Turtle Roofing letting us borrow Brax Garrison for a little bit of time yesterday and the week before. So Brax, we're making him a weekly guest, and I know he was watching the basketball game last night because he was texting me throughout it. Just a couple little texts here and there with Brax and I about maybe my prediction being wrong, and this basketball team really, really stepping up. Alabama beating Illinois 90-86 right there in the United Center. Just a very, very cool atmosphere to see the guys play in the United Center. I got a buddy who's a huge Bulls fan who lives in Chicago, and we saw a game up there in 2022 is when we saw a game up there, and so had a lot of fun in the United Center many years ago. I'd love to go back. I wish I were there last night because it was a great, great night for Alabama basketball. We're here with Mason Woods. You follow Mason Woods at MAWoods_ on the Twitter machine. He's on Caleb Holt watch because the basketball signing window is now closed. So Caleb Holt's got to wait until I think in the spring.
April.
Yeah, to decide to jump on board. But last night certainly left a great impression on the phenomenal recruit, Mason Woods. You did pick Alabama to win, right? It was you and Brax picking Bama to win.
I thought I picked them to lose.
Oh, okay, great. Well, then that means I'm not on an island. I was driving to my girlfriend's house thinking, damn, Mason and Brax picked him to win. And so what a night, Mason.
Wow.
Let's get into it. What'd you think of Alabama's win over Illinois?
There's a new number 10 in town, and his name is Keitenn Bristow. You sent me the meme last night, the Mohamed Diabate upgrade button, Keitenn Bristow. And that's exactly what you got last night. You got what we had kind of joked about on the show yesterday of like, oh, he's going to come back, alleviate all your problems, bring that. But he did exactly that. He came back and alleviated all of Alabama's physicality problems. He was, I know he didn't technically win the Hard Hat Award last night. It went to Amari Allen, but I'm sure he was right there close in second place because he embodied blue collar basketball last night. It was very, very impressive what we got on him. I mean, almost had a double with points and rebounds there. But I mean, top to bottom, the whole team, I was so impressed with the physicality, with the effort that you saw last night. You went down on the boards a little bit in the first half, but you got them back in the second half. I mean, let's see, what did you finish here? Total rebounds, you'd only missed by 2 rebounds, 40 to 38. So like you're right there in line with where you need to be. You only turn the ball over 10 times. Maybe clean that up a little bit, but not really going to complain about it. LeBaron Filan got going in the last few minutes there, really took the game over. I think, what was it, 9-point stretch he had there where he scored 9 of Alabama's straight points. I mean, it was just really an amazing performance. I continue to be really impressed with these freshmen. I thought you obviously got fantastic minutes from Amari Allen, but I think even the other two guys, Davian Hanna, London Jemison, gave you good minutes. I thought you saw good minutes from Sherelle last night.
Yes.
The best we've seen this year from him. It really, like, top to bottom, I thought the whole team, there was not a weak link on the floor.
Really amazing. Well, there was a weak link, but he was barely out there.
Sure.
But it's okay.
And every time I saw him on the floor, it was like, why is he even out there? 6 minutes, we'll deal with it.
Exactly. And I think you're going to have to deal with it all year long to where it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Dax texted me thinking, what was his text about Noah Williamson? He said, he was talking about Keitenn Bristow being so good and being like, man, he said if we had Keitenn Bristow last Thursday against Purdue, then we'd probably end up on the other end of that.
I would agree.
Yesterday on the show, I was asking, unless he's Dennis Rodman, then it doesn't matter. I don't think it's going to matter. And the other name I used was incorrect. I used Ali Farouk Manesh, but he was a guard, and now he's the coach, I think, at Colorado State. The name I was trying to think of, it came to me in the middle of the day because I was just like, that's not right. It's not Ali Farouk Manesh. That's not the right name. It's Kenneth Fareed. Was on my brain about 3:00 yesterday. I was talking to Hunter DeCiver, who leads all our coverage at BamaCentral.com for Alabama basketball. And I said, well, unless he's Kenneth Fareed, then I don't know if it's really going to be a big deal. And if anybody doesn't remember Kenneth Fareed, he played at Morehead State, averaged his college career 14 points, almost 15 points, 12 rebounds a game, had a decent little NBA career as well. Kenneth Fareed, how long did he play in the NBA? He got up to a 91 overall in NBA 2K.
What a career for Kenneth Fareed. I'm just looking at the team history here.
First round pick, 22nd overall pick. He played from 2011, really in the NBA till 2019. So 8-9 years in the NBA, and was just a rebounding monster. It was 6'8" or so. 6'8", 230 pounds, 240 pounds. And I thought, everything we heard in the summer was Keitenn Bristow dominating the boards. Keitenn Bristow is really rebounding everybody. He's he's athletic. Watch out for this Tarleton State kid. And I filed it in the back of my mind, and I was excited about him before the year started. And then, boom, first night of the year against North Dakota, he's standing there with an ankle brace on, basically. And I'm like, well, okay. And you smack North Dakota, who cares? And you go up to St. John's or up to New York and win in MSG without him. And I thought, okay, team's doing good. We need a little more out of Sherelle. And I was liking Colin Sonia-Giacca. I still do like him. But it was kind of thinking he's going to be a 6-minute a game guy as well, just like Williamson has been or was last night. And then you get to Thursday, and it's like, man, you need another big body because Williamson, you're not getting anything out of him. Sherelle's having a hard time staying on the floor because of foul trouble and just general nature. It needs a break. You can't play 40 minutes. And so I'm like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And Purdue beat them up. Purdue beat Alabama up inside, offensive rebounds, second chance points. It was just like, we're getting as many shots as we want as it takes on a possession to get a bucket. And it was just so frustrating to watch and demoralizing, frankly, to watch. Despite Alabama's being really, really close. I mean, you were on the line. We've said it a couple times, on the line with a one-on-one opportunity to tie. You missed the front end, and Purdue kind of runs away with that last minute. Runs away. They won by 7. So it wasn't really like you got smacked that bad. But the game flow was so frustrating because you couldn't get our defensive rebound and clear the glass for anything. And you were going down, and it was basically one shot and done on the offensive end. You shot well enough to hang in there. And I'm thinking, wow, if this rebounding issue is going to be here all year, if you're not going to get much out of Noah Williamson, if Collins Onyeka has a medical issue and is going to be out for, let's just say, the rest of the year, all year, just to make it worst case scenario. Hope it's not, but maybe. I thought, wow, you're going to be in for it when you're playing these bigger teams, the Floridas of the world. If you advance deeply in the NCAA tournament, it's going to be some hard matchups. And last night, I mean, I'm looking at the box score before the game or the day earlier, and y'all all heard me on the show yesterday talking about it probably not going well for Alabama. I picked 92-80. I picked a 12-point loss. A 12-point loss, and largely because of the rebounding issues and because of the international nature of their team. I thought they would be able to keep up with Alabama's pace. They couldn't. They ended up playing Alabama's game. They sped them up and got Illinois to take tougher shots. And yeah, Illinois only turned the ball over 11 times and Alabama 10. But you sped them up, and they got sloppy in nature. And honestly, their shot making was not exactly what I thought it was going to be.
They opened the second half so bad.
Yeah,
I mean, like it was Mirkovic went like 0 for 9 to start the second half or something. Like, it was terrible. And you're exactly right. Like, Alabama forced them to play up to their tempo in this game.
And I think the tempo created the missed shots, I'm shooting, bang, going off the rim, instead of, okay, we're taking our time, we're in rhythm, we're just going to catch and shoot, and we're all good playing our game. No, I think Alabama's tempo just ramped the whole thing up, and 42% is still pretty good. 31 of 73 for Illinois. They were 11 of 32 from behind the arc, so they shot at 34%. Alabama making 13 3-point shots, 13 of 36. But for the first time, really in the two big games that you played, now 3 big games that you played, you were even on the free throw line. 23 free throws for Alabama, 17 of 23, 22 free throws for Illinois, 13 of 22. So they were worse off at the free throw line. And Peja's son was incredible, but did struggle
at free throws.
Right, did struggle at the free throw line. So I was personally happy to see that, but I was also really personally happy to watch Andre Stojakovic. Golly. I mean, it was like watching a clone, and I can remember Peja from middle school, high school age, and you remember you remember everybody used to shoot Kobe when they would shoot. Well, all the white guys that were playing basketball in my high school would go, Peja, just as like a troll. And it was like a throwback watching Andre Stojakovic. And that dunk he had in the first half, he yammed on Alabama. And, luckily it didn't turn out to make them lose the game, to make Alabama lose the game. But I was just really impressed with him. Just really good player all night long. High-level basketball game, and you lost to Purdue, and you thought, okay, there's some fundamental holes on this team. Well, Keitenn Bristow gets back healthy and says, I'll fill all of those holes. Dirty work, 10 points, 8 rebounds. Coach Oates after the game basically saying that he still isn't 100%. He had to come out at some times, wind issues, because you haven't played basketball for the last handful of weeks, and you haven't played in any of these games. So just really, really, really impressed with the Crimson Tide last night going into the United Center. And look, and of course it says semi-neutral on KenPom when you look at it, and the analytics, the quad 1 wins, this, that, and the other will count it as a neutral site game. But that place was filled with orange and blue. It was.
Yes, it was.
Oh, just excited. So let's start right here. Let's start with Keitenn Bristow, just because we both already raved about him for just a little bit of time. But what is this team ceiling if you get last night's performance plus 3%? Let's say he gets a little more wind, a little more game shape, this, that, and the other. But plus 3%, that Keitenn Bristow gets plugged into this lineup the rest of the year. What's the ceiling for this team?
I mean, I don't want to sound crazy, but like it's Final Four national champion. I think that is the level that many people have referred to this Illinois team as going into this season. I think they've been talked about as a team that could go win a title. I mean, Purdue obviously is a team that could go win a title. You hung in with there. You got the win over St. John's, who a lot of people think could also go win a title. I think Alabama is right in that conversation with these teams that are being talked about as Final Four candidates for this year.
And that's just what's so exciting to me. You beat St. John's. And look, if you follow this show for any amount of time, any year, if you're a multi-year listener, I appreciate you so much. You're my favorite people ever. But basically every year I've done Final Four, Final Four. And like there's a hint of seriousness to it, but mostly it's tongue-in-cheek and it's dreaming, it's wishing. I don't think that's a wish this year. You add Keitenn Bristow, and let's just say Williamson over the course of 5 months, 4 months, whatever the season is, November, December, January, February, March, April, 6 months. Over the course of 6 months gives you 1% better every day, 1% better every day, and becomes because right now I still think Noah Williamson, you're a liability on this team, but you have to play him because of the lack of depth in the front court. But if he, you don't have to throw him out there for 20 minutes a game is the point with Keitenn Bristow. And not that he was playing 20 minutes a game in the first 2 games, but you don't have to throw him out there for massive minute load, a big portion of the big man minutes. He doesn't have to take that. He can, okay, you got a little slower here or you got beat right there. He can take small lessons each day in each game. And if you can take those small lessons, then you can grow as a player and be better and be better suited. And by the end of the year, I think he probably could be a pretty solid 2 to Aiden Sherrell's 1. You mentioned Aiden Sherrell right off the bat. Aiden Sherrell in the first handful of minutes, 2 offensive rebounds, and it's thank you, sir. That's what we need from you. Like, you look at the box score and it's not crazy. 6 points, 2 rebounds. But
only got 9 minutes.
I thought he had 2 offensive rebounds. It was 1 offensive rebound and 1 defensive rebound. But he got himself in foul trouble. 4 fouls.
Hit a big 3.
Hit a monster 3. Like, you played tougher. You took a step in those 9 minutes. Now, you got to control your arms. You got to control the foul trouble. But you are seeing growth out of this team already in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, you're seeing small. Like if you're looking at them under a microscope, it's like watching a kid. You see a kid every day. Maybe you don't think they're growing, but you check in on them every couple of months, and you're like, holy smokes, you grew so much. Like under a microscope, the 2 weeks. I think Alabama has already taken steps forward. I mean, LeBaron, you step up at the free throw line late. You are basically putting the game on your shoulders late in the second half. I mean, after the St. John's game, I was like, man, you could have taken over the game earlier. You waited a while. Well, big step back in the Purdue game. I think that just defensively, he probably struggled balancing offense to defense and gave you all he had on defense against Braden Smith, and wasn't really able to give you a ton on offense in that game. Well, he's given you both against Illinois, against high quality guards. And it's 19 points in the second half. And it's that late 3 that it got thrown to him. And it was zero hesitation. I'm sitting there on the couch going, the last handful of minutes, get a good shot. Just get a good shot. It's okay if you miss. Get a good shot. And when that ball gets passed to him and he hair triggered from 3, I'm going, no, that wasn't a shot. And then bottom, just straight bucket, and no rim, no nothing, barely touched the net. I thought, well, that was the shot. Amazing, amazing by LeBaron. Just so much good to take away from this game. 2 things to get into. Just the math was on full display last night with Coach Oates. Especially at the very, very end of the game. You are doing the free throw foul, doing the free throw contest. They're still trying to dig into it. They hit a big 3. You get up 3 on the exchange on one of the late exchanges. I think there was like 20 seconds left, something in that range. No. It was like
close. It was like 12.
Yeah. And they inbounds the ball. Bama's up 3, and Houston Millette immediately foul. Could have taken another second or 3 off the clock. But the point is, you fouled up 3. They went 1 of 2. Then they fouled you. You go up back up 4, and you ice the game. Nate Oates in the math was on full display last night. You made more 3s than they did. Really, really just quintessential Alabama basketball. Quintessential Nate Oates blue collar basketball.
Yeah, it really was. It was a perfect display of the NATO system last night. I got to talk about Amari Allen. He's
Yeah, please,
awesome.
please.
He's just awesome. Like we have a star blossoming right before our eyes here in Amari Allen. To be a true freshman and to get 29 minutes in this game last night, because I think this coaching staff, I mean, obviously there was some foul issues that went into him getting extra minutes and things, but like, I think it also speaks to just how much this coaching staff trusts him already. He like you look at the guy, you would never think for a second he was a true freshman because not only the way he looks out there, he looks like a grown 25-year-old man,
He looks like a
but
junior.
he also plays like he's been in college basketball for 2 or 3 years already. I was just looking side by side between him and the guy on Keitenn Wagler on Illinois, like both true freshmen look completely different from one. Like, you just side by side, you would never know that Amari Allen is a freshman if someone didn't tell you. So I have been really, really impressed with what you've gotten out of him. I think this recruiting class, the 2025 class, it was, I mean, not a bad class by any means. You got 3 4-star players in it,
But
like
pretty food, and no,
yes,
and nobody was sitting there talking. We got J.D. Davison,
exactly.
we got LeBaron Philon, we got Brandon Miller, like these huge recruits that Coach Oates has had. Continue.
Yeah, that's the attitude that people had, was like, oh, Alabama took a step back on the recruiting trail this year, and it's like, I don't know that they did. I think they just did a really good job identifying talent. You have Amari Allen, who is already turned into a feature piece of this team, and then I think as the season goes on, we'll continue to get more and more minutes from Hannah and from London Jemison, because both of them have looked solid as well. I'm very pleased with this team's performance from last night.
What I noticed from Davion Hannah in these early games, obviously the wild quote from Coach Oates with, he's the best perimeter defender we've had since Herb Jones. It has stuck in my mind, and every time that he's on defense, going man-to-man on somebody, that's like literally in my brain, like, are you going to stop this guy or not? Herb would stop this guy, But the offensive end of Davion Hannah, like, it's not amazing, for sure. It's not amazing, but he is absolutely fearless.
Yeah.
He has no.
He will attempt any dunk,
yes,
any alley oop, like send him in the air. He's going for it.
Yeah, he has no hesitation. So far on the offensive end, it's like, part of Coach Oates' system is, hey man, if you've got a shot, you need to take it. You're going to get benched if you pass up the shot, because I want you to be confident. Well, Davion Hannah exudes that. Granted, 9 points against North Dakota, didn't score against St. John's or Purdue, but ended up taking a shot against St. John's. Barely played in both those games. 5 minutes last night, 1 of 2, 1 of 1 from beyond the arc, 3-point hit a 3-pointer. Just got himself a rebound as well. But to me, it's like, he's in there for his defense to kind of shut somebody down or to help us on the defense end. But he may not be the best offensive player yet on this team, but I think that he's got the building blocks or the base blocks of, that could be a really nice offensive player once he gets even more comfortable in the college game, once he hones his shot a little bit more. I think you're right about this freshman class. Those 3 guys, and I mean, even those 4 with Collins, Anya, Jack. We'll find out what Collins actually is with a lot more time. He's got to recover first. But you've got 3 fearless basketball players who aren't acting like freshmen when they're on the floor. We've been Alabama basketball players for 3 years now. We know the NATO. Like, they are blue collar to a T of playing hard, 1,000 miles an hour. If I make a mistake, it's okay. We're going to make it 1,000 miles an hour. So, like, we're going to get back on defense. We're going to run on offense. They've been, pretty essential to Alabama getting up and down the floor, running in these first handful of games. Alabama with 16 fast break points last night to Illinois' 11. It's a fun team so far.
It really is.
Fun team. Houston Millette with 10 points, 5 of 5 from the free throw line. I'm going to hate myself for his next missed free throw, but my man Houston Millette has not missed a free throw this season.
You saw how bad he wanted those free throws at the end there. The announcer said it, like he ran from the other baseline all the way down to meet him there to get that ball.
And they barely touched the net. It was like he did his little
routine,
little prayer routine real quick.
He got paused like halfway through it when the ref said something to him. He had to restart it. I noticed. So
yeah,
I'm glad that he's got his routine down.
100% from the free throw line so far, closes out the game. And gives Alabama a monstrous win, beating the number 7 team in KenPom, beating the number 8 overall team in the country. And so Mason Woods, Alabama is moved up to 18th in KenPom. Alabama will play Gonzaga. Gonzaga's number 2 next. But that's okay. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves with the Gonzaga game. Look at these two numbers. Alabama is now 10th in offensive rating and is 35th in defense after playing 3 monstrous teams.
We can work with that.
And what did Coach Oates say a couple years ago when he had the number 1 overall seed and the team looked amazing, the JQ Brandon Miller team that was, quite frankly, left a bit on the table, losing up there in Louisville to San Diego State. He outlined the blueprint that year and it said, we want a top 10 offense and we want a top 30 defense. If we get both those marks, we expect that that's the mark, that's the goal, that's the range that you have to have on both sides of the floor to be competing and winning a national championship. Now, Alabama has had the number 1 offense and has had a 50th or 70th or even 100th defense. The Mark Sears Grant Nelson the year they actually went to the Final Four, I think they were at 103, 105, 99 in defense. But you've had a top 5 offense many years here under Coach Oates. You've had the top 30 defense only a couple times. That Brandon Miller year, you did have a top 30 defense. They were pretty strong on that end of the floor as well, with Charles Bediako playing drop coverage. And boy, we would have loved to have had him another year. Yeah. But you're right there in the right. Now it's only 4 games, but 3 of those 4 games are against teams that are expecting or hoping or planning to be in Indianapolis come April. So I just ask you to pay attention to those numbers and ask you, do you think that this is sustainable throughout the rest of the year? Like the effort was off the chart last night. Taylor Bowen and Keitenn Bristow were really, really playing well last night.
I mean, you're going to get some games throughout the season where they don't give the effort that you want them to. That's just part of a long college basketball season. There's going to be times where we come in here on a Thursday or whatever day it is, Wednesday to, whatever day of the week it is, where we're sitting here talking about where was the effort last night, whatever it is. You will have examples of that this season. But I think getting these 2 wins over these 2 really, really good teams in the way that you did, where it was like, okay, yeah, you played the perfect NATO system in this game. You saw how it works. You saw what it can do. I think that kind of thing, like that can translate to the whole season. I think seeing it in action and seeing how well it can work, it goes a long way to convincing the team that, like, all right, this is just the level that we have to play at in order to, reach the success we want. They saw what happens when they don't play with enough effort. You lose to Purdue. So I feel good that translates to the rest of the season. Like I don't know. I know I was pretty down on after that Purdue game. Same old Alabama, no physicality, no presence in the paint. But like with Keitenn Bristow on the floor, it seemed like everyone else around him sort of played up to his level as well of effort and physicality. So like I feel really good about where this team is headed. I think you'll only continue to get better as the year goes on.
Kenneth Faried's very first college game for Morehead State was at Houston. Now, obviously, Keitenn Bristow has played college games before at Tarleton State, but, nothing matters unless you came to Alabama. Those games don't count. Those games don't matter. In Kenneth Faried's very first game against Houston, Morehead State lost 83-54. What do you think the points and rebounds number were for rebounding monster Kenneth Faried?
9 points. 18 rebounds.
Oh, well, you're dead on. 9 points right there, 8 rebounds. 9 points, 8 rebounds. What's Keitenn Bristow's very first line for Alabama? We'll click over back to it. 10 points, 8 rebounds. Like, my man's, if you can now, Kenneth Faried is a high bar and we just outlined an 8-9 year NBA player, first round draft pick because of his toughness and because of his length and because of his rebounding ability. Wasn't really ever an offensive superstar, but was a huge asset to Morehead State and a huge asset to his NBA teams. It may be crazy to suggest that he's going to be in that category, but I think that should be maybe who we push the rest of the year. Keitenn Bristow, Kenneth Faried. If you have a guy who is, hey man, I'm a rebounding monster at the 4. You can play Sherrell. We can go. I mean, think about a lineup that goes Bristow and Taylor Bowen in your post that has LeBaron and Latrell and Millette, or LeBaron and Latrell and Amari Allen, or even
let's just get all the bigs out there. Give me Sherrell, Bowen, and Bristow.
What is it going to be in January when Jaleel Bethea comes back into the lineup?
Man. Yeah,
I'm
good problem to have. But you'll have to figure some things out with these rotations, I'm sure.
Well, and some of these freshmen will lose some minutes, but okay. And
you gonna tell Davian Haney he's not gonna play?
Well, he only played 5 minutes last night. I think you'll take 2 or 3 minutes from Latrell Wrightsel's 26 minutes last night. You'll take a minute or two away from Aiden Holloway's 31 minutes.
I don't think Amari Allen getting 29 is going to be a super regular occurrence.
Right. Exactly. I think that there will be a minute or two shaved off everybody to carve out 15, 16 minutes for Jaleel Bethea. So just an amazing night, and how many more ways can we say it? The other math issue, not math issue, but math equation that NATO has pulled. You saw him at the end of the half, right? At the end of the half, you ended up Illinois tried to pull off a 2-for-1.
Yeah,
right. They were trying to suck away some time on the baseline so that it brought it just within the 2-for-1 threshold. Well, that's when NATO's called a timeout. They call timeout. They save that 6-7 seconds or so that you're in the margins. You make a basket and the clock's running, and they're not counting the 5 seconds on the baseline quite yet. So there's kind of a gray area of, can we kill some more time? Can we not? Well, Illinois tried to kill some time, and Nate and company saw it right away. Beep, 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 timeout, and was able to get the last shot in the first half. The first half, I thought for the first 7 or 8 minutes, I was like, oh, this is going kind of the way I thought it was going to go, where Illinois was up 6 or so. Illinois was up a handful of points, and they were starting to, pull away, get extra shots, get extra offensive rebounds, but Alabama just dug right into it. And so I'm just really proud of the response from losing to Purdue, getting punked by Purdue, to saying, punked is a little strong. I think there was some just physical deficiencies. I don't think they really quit. I just think it was kind of like, hey, there's a lot of big guys out there, and we don't have one.
Yeah.
Just really impressed with the response. So the team gets a couple of days off and is going out to Las Vegas next, which
is the players' era, right?
That's right. Not roster. I want.
Hey, get extra bit of motivation. Get that big fancy check.
Get some money on the line. Make sure you guys have your coffee next week. Monday night it's going to be at 8:30. Last night's game was almost at 8:15 or so. And then Tuesday night they play back-to-back nights, trying to simulate an NBA back-to-back a little bit, trying to also give you a little simulation of an NCAA tournament where you're playing Thursday, Saturday, or a Friday, Sunday. So trying to kind of simulate both those things, which I love. Great. But Tuesday night, definitely going to need to have your coffee. 11 p.m. 11 p.m. on TNT. Maybe you guys need to record the game and watch it at 3, 4, 5, whatever time, but whatever time you wake up in the morning, 5, 6, 7 a.m. that's going to be a little tough for everybody to pay attention to. I understand that. So make sure you pay attention to the Wednesday edition. Mason, we'll probably we'll take Thanksgiving Day off, but if you're game to go Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, that will probably be the game plan for next week. Maybe what we could do is find somebody to interview over the next couple of days and play it on Thursday morning. That might be a good goal to have. We'll see if we can accomplish that or not. But the next time for Alabama is Monday at 8:30 against Gonzaga. Gonzaga, the number 2 team in KenPom. KenPom has updated. They are expecting a 5-point loss, 88-83. And then they're expecting us to beat UNLV the next night on Tuesday. And then they'll either play again on Wednesday or Thursday. Kind of depends on the Players Era Festival scheduling, who wins and who loses. They'll get the winners if they win. They'll get losers if they lose. They'll get the split team if they split. So it'll be a lot of fun next week as they play more high-level basketball.
Yeah, I'm looking at just a little bit of Gonzaga here. Big 90-63 win over 23rd ranked Creighton does not give me a ton of confidence going into this one. It's going to be a tough game.
Yeah, that's it. It really, really is.
Yeah, Creighton 48th in KenPom, and Gonzaga has almost a 30-point win over them. Whew. Boys got their work cut out for them.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, if I'd have told you in these first 4 games Alabama would be 3-1, you'd be like, "Yeah,
I'd be pretty stoked." Yeah,
give me that.
Yeah, I continue to be. My confidence level for this team moving forward is bumping into that 8, 9, 10 range. I am fully buying into this team after that win. If that's the ceiling, that's championship caliber.
The ceiling is the roof. Isn't that somebody's phrase from?
Yeah, that was Jordan. He when he came back at UNC and said it.
Yeah, the ceiling is the roof. LeBaron Philon saying he was always a Michael Jordan fan, so really, really embodying a little bit of Jordan last night.
Is that the secret to LeBaron Philon? We just have to get him playing in NBA arenas because MSG and now United Center, he's had 2. I mean, maybe the 2 best games of his career in an Alabama uniform. Maybe that's the secret.
That bodes well for the NCAA tournament. Yeah, absolutely. Big arenas, big time setting. So we'll see how that goes come March and April. So lots of fun. We'll stay covering this Alabama basketball team throughout the year. Obviously, Nate Oates will. I don't know if Nate's going to give a press conference on Sunday or if it's going to be on Friday or Saturday due to kind of the weird scheduling. We'll keep you up to date with that. You can see it on the BamaCentral YouTube channel. Let's make sure that Hunter did get ours up last night because he said he would. Yes, he did. Great job, Hunter DeCiver, getting Nate Oates' press conference up last night after Alabama's big old win. So you can see that on the BamaCentral YouTube channel if you're trying to follow along with us with this basketball season. Mason, I got one more random topic, not necessarily Alabama football related, but it is football related. Let's spin to that after we tell everybody about Purple Turtle Roofing. At Purple Turtle Roofing, we believe our work is about more than roofing. It's about service, stewardship, and sheltering what matters most. Our name may be unique, but it's deeply rooted in purpose and faith. The color purple, symbolizing Christ and royalty, reflects our founder's personal belief in striving for excellence and honoring a higher calling in all that we do. The turtle represents something that began as a simple idea, but quickly became a powerful symbol of strength, endurance, and divine guidance. Call Purple Turtle Roofing today at 877-787-6635. We specialize in residential roofing, commercial roofing, emergency storm repairs, full-on roof replacement, insurance claim support, and more. You heard Brax Garrison on the program yesterday. We appreciate Brax giving us all his expertise and telling you guys about Purple Turtle Roofing. At Purple Turtle Roofing, we're not just another contractor. We're your neighbor and your advocate when it comes to protecting your home or business. With years of hands-on experience, top-tier certification, and a commitment to excellence, we've built a reputation as Alabama's go-to roofing solution. So call Purple Turtle Roofing today. They'll come out and give you an inspection at 877-787-6635. All right, Mason, I got two kind of offshoot football topics. One, it relates to Alabama, but it doesn't. Is about how stacked Black Friday is. The other is about BYU and their chances to knock out Alabama from really playoff contention. You're looking at two scenarios right here as everybody is kind of freaking out about a Tuesday night's college football playoff rankings, whatever you want to call it. Miami's sitting there at 11. But Miami is not in the ACC championship picture.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're probably going to get the winner of Virginia and Georgia Tech as one of the automatic bids. And right now, with Miami sitting at 11, they're on the bubble to be bumped out. I know that you've got Tulane pretty much sitting there as sitting there as the Group of 5 champion. It's going to be Tulane. It's going to be North Texas. It's going to be Navy, kind of all vying for that last spot. Well, they are. They're probably going to be bumping out. They're probably going to be bumping out a team like a BYU, sitting there at 11, sitting there at 12. Well, BYU can win themselves into the what happens if BYU beats Texas Tech? Does Texas Tech fall far enough out that Alabama's still in the field? And so I think that, we talked about the SEC championship, and as long as you're there and as long as you don't lose by 20, lose by a blowout, you're going to be in the field. Mm-hmm. I still think that, but I do think there's a small chance that if BYU beats Texas Tech, well, Texas Tech isn't going to fall far enough out of the 12, and BYU will sneak in. Well, you still have to have your Group of 5 champion, and so who's sitting there at 11? At 10 and 11, basically at 9 and 10. It'd be at 10 and 11. Really get bumped out in favor of your BYU, your Tulane. I think Alabama has a small percentage. Are you worried about BYU? You take them back to a couple of weeks ago. Texas Tech beats BYU. What was the score of that game? I think 29-7. Basically in control. BYU didn't score their touchdown until the fourth quarter, so it was basically 19-7. It was basically over with by the time that BYU even scored. Actually, it was 26-0 before BYU scored. Now, it wasn't Texas Tech, it wasn't Lubbock. I do think there's a talent gap disparity, but what's your fear level on BYU knocking out Alabama?
I mean, I think I'm with you. Like, I don't think there's really any scenario where, so long as Alabama wins out, you go beat Auburn, you get to the SEC championship, I don't think you're getting left out, period. Unless you lose by 50 in that game, I don't believe that there's really any realistic scenario where Alabama makes it to the SEC championship game and misses the playoff. I mean, I'm looking, I guess, let's see, if we did have BYU, Texas Tech, and then say you get your winner of the ACC, we'll call it Georgia Tech. Probably Miami gets in, maybe, if I had to guess.
Well, Miami's looking to get bumped out because you Alabama at 10, BYU sitting at 11, Utah at 12. Well, this little graphic that we've seen over this week has been confusing because they're slotting Miami in at 11. But Miami's not going to win the ACC unless some weirdness happens and they're able to get into. So that 11th spot is going to go to Georgia Tech or Virginia, right? The 12th spot is going to go to Tulane, right? And so BYU's only path to getting in is by beating Texas Tech. Well, ipso facto, they bump out the 10th spot, which is sitting right there for Alabama.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I probably need to look at it more, to be honest. But I don't see any scenario where Alabama makes the SEC tournament or the SEC championship and is left out of the playoff. I don't think there's any feasible explanation you can give to put BYU in even if they win the Big 12 over Alabama in that scenario. Because, like, I mean, sure, probably, yeah, but like, I don't know. That I am firmly confident that so long as Alabama wins out and gets to the SEC title game and doesn't get embarrassed, you're in the playoff.
I'm still feeling that way as well. I'm just looking at the numbers and looking at the math. And
I mean, I'm thinking, like, Ole Miss is going to get bumped out. They're going to lose to Mississippi State.
See, a lot of this is going to take care of itself for reasons just like that.
Like, I mean, they might not lose to Mississippi State, but I don't think it's I don't know. I don't think it's out of the question for Ole Miss to maybe get bumped out somehow.
Jeff Lebby, come on, baby.
Yeah, I think to me, I feel like the real nightmare scenario is Georgia Tech beating Georgia and then losing to Virginia in the ACC title game, because you're not going to keep out Georgia Tech with a win over Georgia, but you have to let the ACC champion in. Like, that's the scariest scenario for me, and I think that's not unrealistic.
Haynes King, come on, young man. Come on, young man. We need you. Need you to handle your business.
Because yeah, I don't know. It's going to be, I mean, it'll all sort itself out over the next 2 weeks. I think Texas A&M, that one's weird too, though, because if Texas beats Texas A&M, I know they have 3 losses, but like the talking heads are going to be doing their power to get Texas into the playoff. And like, hey, if you got to win over Texas A&M, you know, it's one of the best wins in the country probably at that point.
It is. But even as the resident Texas stan here, you can't put them in with what they did with Florida, with what they did with Kentucky, with the way that they played through. I mean, they went to Athens and weren't even close. Sure. Weren't even close to a top 10.
I think if they maybe played that game in Georgia a little closer, you have a better argument.
Yeah. We'll see what happens with them. But this takes me right into something I was thinking about on my drive up here, up to see my girlfriend. It was just how loaded this Black Friday slate is. Like all the ladies, and enjoy it, ladies. No shade on that. All the ladies will be doing their shopping. They'll be going out. They'll be doing whatever they want to do. But cook even more on Thanksgiving. Cook extra, because on Friday, have you looked at the slate yet, Mason?
Some good games.
The Black Friday slate. You open up with Ole Miss at Mississippi State. So more cowbell starts your day at 11 a.m. You can have Utah and Kansas on your second screen if you're a real sicko. But you moves on, middle of the day, Georgia Tech, 2:30 on ABC. Like, your TV doesn't have to go off of ABC. Your ABC lineup goes Ole Miss, Mississippi State. Like, put that right in my eyeballs. Just give me so much that Egg Bowl rivalry, just because of the hatred factor and the drama right now. Because I do think Mississippi State's got a
They're frisky.
Yes. And is Lane Kiffin distracted by all this coaching search nonsense? I do believe him what he said the other day about there's no ultimatum. There's no ultimatum. But I
didn't realize the Egg Bowl is to get Mississippi State bowl eligible.
Yes. Yes.
That's going to be good.
Even better. They don't have a game this week? No, they don't have a game this week. Yes, perfect. So they got a week off to prepare for it. So 11 a.m. Egg Bowl, 2:30 p.m. clean old-fashioned hate Georgia Tech at at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And just the dynamics of that game with Georgia alum Kirby Smart and Georgia Tech alum Brent Key on the opposite. I think
you might fight at midfield.
Exactly. I think if you gave them the option, would you rather fight at midfield? The winner of the fight gets 6 points on the scoreboard right now. They'd say, yes, sign me up. And they'd be chomping at the bit to get after each other. Like, it's cool. And now, I do think Georgia's more talented. They're going to be favored in the game. Sure. But Georgia Tech is nasty.
They're feisty too.
They'll try to drag you into deep water, Georgia. Yep. So be wary of that. Get your swim trunks on and get your life vest on, because you're going into deep water with Georgia Tech right there.
What do we think is the outlook for Ole Miss if they lose this game? Because the only good win you have all season is against Oklahoma. You lost to Georgia.
13.
Yeah, I think you're on the outside looking in if you're Ole Miss and you lose this game.
More cowbell. Give me that clang-a-lang-a-lang-a-lang. More cowbell.
Make it happen, Jeff Levy.
Let's do it. Absolutely. So yeah, I think you're in for a precipitous fall if you lose to Mississippi State. Because hey, look, we own the Florida State loss, but if the Florida State loss is to a 5-5 football team right now, they've got Florida and they've got somebody else. Who else do they have? Hold on, I see them. They got Florida on the Saturday that we're talking about next Saturday, and they have NC State this Saturday. So you could be looking at 6-6. Okay, great. You could be 7-5, whatever.
Sure.
That's their best case scenario. They could be 5-7. It's a bad loss still for Alabama, but if that's a bad loss, and it is, well, losing to Mississippi State gotta hurt you. That's gotta hurt you.
Yeah.
It has to. Not just because I want to see Alabama in the playoff, but just fair is fair. And losing to Florida State, losing to Mississippi State, basically the same thing to me.
Yeah, and I think Alabama gets the benefit of theirs having happened 10 weeks ago.
And yes, and the more wins on their schedule, the more higher quality wins on the schedule. You balance those two teams, and
Alabama's got a better resume.
Sorry, Lane Kiffin, you're going to whatever.
You're taking that Florida job, buddy.
Whatever the best bowl is that's not in the playoff, that's where you guys are headed. Enjoy it. I think that might be the Peach Bowl, or Peach Bowl is in the second in the semifinals. You're right. So, anyways, enjoy somewhere in Florida. Some bowl game, Relia Quest Bowl, some Capital One Bowl, whatever, Outback Bowl. But then, so right after the 2:30 game, right into Texas A&M at Texas.
Whew.
The eyes of Texas are upon you. And like, if you're A&M, like I do like Mike Elko. I think he's a really good coach. And I think he's really good about keeping the BS out of this program, just isolating his team and isolating his program from the noise and from the moment. I do think he's really good at that. But if you're A&M and you open your morning with Ole Miss losing, and in your pregame walk and in your locker room quiet time, you see Georgia win a close game. I mean, 7-3, 6-point game. What does that do psychologically for, our season is about to be thrown into flux?
I just forfeit.
Yeah.
Let Georgia go play in the title game. We'll see you in the playoff. We'll go lick our wounds, come back for more. Because that sounds like a nightmare, a psychological nightmare.
I think it's fantastic for the neutral football fan or for somebody covering. Like, tell your wife, enjoy the credit card that day. I'm sorry. Like whoever you are, all the listeners, all the viewers, knock out your honey-do list on the Wednesday. If you guys are getting Wednesday off before Thanksgiving, make it a busy Wednesday for yourself. Make it a busy Wednesday where you're, taking all the trash out, you're running all the laundry, you're doing all the errands, you're doing the shopping. That way y'all can all enjoy Thursday family time. Great. I encourage a lot of family time. Enjoy that. Enjoy the meals. But Friday, tell them, honey, leave me alone. Children, you're coming to sit on the couch with me. If you want some daddy, some father time, if you want some family time, we're having it in the living room, watching these 3 games back to back to back. I think that the Friday slate is just incredible. You've also got Indiana at Purdue. Obviously, Purdue no good. You got Arizona State on the schedule as well on that Friday. You can mix in some Iowa, Nebraska while you're in commercial break for the Egg Bowl. And if you're an NFL fan, the Chicago Bears are playing at 2:00 on Friday against the Philadelphia Eagles. So there is a lot of action on Black Friday, and so I am chomping at the bit to get to next week.
I'm looking at that whole weekend there. You got the big game on Saturday. What's going to happen if Michigan wins that game?
Well, what's the Big Ten standing?
Big Ten is Indiana up top, 8-0 conference, Ohio State 7-0 conference, and then a 3-way tie between USC, Oregon, and Michigan, all at 1 loss in the conference.
Well, That
would
would
be
definitely
something.
it would put you into at least a two-way tie, depending on what happens with USC this week. USC has a decent game, don't they?
There are so many chaos scenarios. Like, there's so many chaos
They have
scenarios.
Oregon. Oh, USC and Oregon play on Saturday.
Okay, great.
So
Okay.
one of those
All right,
teams
well, that'll decide that.
Yeah, one of those teams will bump up, and you'll have a three-way tie between Ohio State, Michigan, and the winner of USC Oregon
That would be
to go play India. Like
I don't know who gets the nod there because I don't know how the Big Ten does their tie breaking and everything. But like, if there was a scenario, and it seems like it may exist, where Michigan could run the table at the end of this season, be Ohio State, and then go win the Big Ten, beat Indiana, that is like pure chaos, because that could definitely get Alabama bumped out, I think, because you're obviously not going to leave Michigan out. You're not going to leave Indiana or Ohio State out. I think that would get at least 3 teams from the Big Ten in, probably another one, because you're looking at the winner of USC or Oregon. That would be not good.
All the freaking out that happened on Tuesday, I think was a little nuts, because I think you have so many different scenarios that are.
This will look completely different next week.
So for Alabama fans, everybody who's watching and listening, just handle your own business.
Yeah,
beat
the games.
Right, beat the brakes off Eastern Illinois. Go down to Auburn and show these fools that it's not haunted, because all that talk is nonsense.
What do you make of that? Do you think it's gonna? Do you think this will carry over into the DeBoer era? I know we talked about it with Katie a little bit earlier in the week, but I don't know where I fall in this, because I know voodoo is not real. I know magic and things are not real, but damn it, if that stadium, there's something about it.
Well, we're gonna try to have Matt Stahl on very soon. Matt Stahl is working on a piece. I don't want to like spoil his piece, but he's working on a piece, talking to ghost experts, talking to paranormal experts, doing research of burial grounds as it relates to Jordan-Hare Stadium. So not to pimp somebody else's website, but be looking for Matt Stahl, AL.com very soon as he's researching and writing. I am of the opinion that it's not real. And maybe Matt's piece will reconvince me.
Empirical evidence.
Right. I don't want to say Nick Saban didn't care about that game, because that's not true. He cared about all the games, and I think he did respect all the rivalries. But I think for Coach Saban, I think the Auburn game ranked third behind LSU and Tennessee. Not that he ever wanted to lose it or didn't take it seriously. Don't hear me say that. Don't clip that up. I think he absolutely took it seriously. But in terms of turning on all the motivational like Auburn, the times that you've lost down there, Auburn has had the "we've got nothing to lose" factor a lot of the times. You lost with give me an extra second, the kicking a field goal at the end of the half, and you played with a backup quarterback who threw 2 pick sixes. Like when you're down there with Greg McElroy and you had your full complement of teams, you drove that field in 8 minutes to throw the winning touchdown up church. So like there have been good times in that stadium. But the time Jalen Hurts, you missed Joseph Bulovas misses a field goal, the yanks it right. Your offense is kind of in the tank. Your offense had been trending to the tank. I don't think that there's really voodoo in that stadium. I think that you have seen different teams trending different ways, and they're trying to win too. Those boys are on scholarship as well. And so when it comes to a rivalry game, I don't really think it's haunted. I just think it's a really dang good rivalry game. And sometimes in big-time rivalry games, you get got.
Yeah, I don't disagree. We will see what happens.
Absolutely.
It's going to be my heart will not be able to take it.
A huge 2 weeks. We'll have Football Friday tomorrow. We'll see what Theo's doing, or maybe we'll see what Henry's doing. The slate this week is fine. It's not amazing. Obviously, Eastern Illinois, Alabama will be our focus, but you got Missouri, Oklahoma. You've got USC, Oregon. You've got Kentucky, Vanderbilt. Not a good game, not a juicy game, but one that Alabama fans need to pay attention to. If Vandy wins, that basically ensures all the tiebreakers go Alabama's way over Ole Miss. And then you have the tiebreaker over Georgia already. Arkansas, Texas, I am intrigued with because old, Southwest Conference rivalry. We'll see what happens there.
BYU, Cincinnati. Watch out for the Bearcats.
Let's go Bearcats. Absolutely.
I watched, I think, one and maybe a half of another one of their games this year. They're a fun team. They could give BYU some headaches.
I think that's going to be a great game for Alabama fans to pay attention to. And then Tennessee, Florida late at 6:30. So a lot of good games despite Alabama playing a high school team. And so we'll talk about all of that on Football Friday. I want to thank Mason Woods. Man, you're always so solid. Always so solid. And I really appreciate you always being on the show with me and co-hosting with me, really taking this thing to where it is going. So follow Mason Woods at MAWoods_ on the Twitter machine. All his recruiting coverage. I mean, it has been a fire hose over the last month. This guy trimming his list down, this guy commenting on Alabama, that guy commenting on his commitment to Boston College. There's all kinds of recruiting coverage for Alabama, Missouri, Vanderbilt, and Boston College at MAWoods_ on the Twitter machine. We want to thank Purple Turtle Roofing for sponsoring the program, making Christmas happen for all of us. You can call Purple Turtle Roofing at 877-787-6635 for all your roofing needs. Brax Garrison and his teammates will come check you out today to make sure that your roof is good to go. I know it's overcast today where I am. I think it's overcast and rainy on the schedule down in Tuscaloosa. So make sure that you are in a secure place. Make sure your roof is looking good, feeling good by calling Purple Turtle Roofing. 877-787-6635. Of course, we want to thank Derek Daniel for sponsoring the program, hosting the show. Call Derek Daniel, State Farm Insurance. 205-758-3391. And most importantly, sorry, Mason, I said you were the biggest one. It's the listener, the viewer. You guys watching us on the Bama Central YouTube channel. You guys watching us on the Bama Central Facebook page, hitting that little share button, hitting that little like button on each side. Listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify, your favorite podcast platforms. I know a lot of you listen to us in the car, so be safe on the roads. I really appreciate you guys so much sharing the show with your friends, rating the show on those podcast platforms, and joining us each and every day right here on the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral, BamaCentral.com.